What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Steelers Rewind here live from Indianapolis. Nick Faribault here for Penn Live. Steelers fall to the Indianapolis Colts 27-24. Listen, a lot of negatives to come out of this game. There's no doubt about that. But I don't want to completely muddy the picture with just negatives. I think there's positives. But let's talk about the negatives first. Listen, this offense came out slow, and I thought there were persistent issues throughout the game in a few areas. One, I thought they continued to make really bad JV mistakes, as Mike Tomlin would say. The snaps have been an issue since the preseason, still haven't been fixed. Whether it's on McCormick, Frazier, Fields, that needs to be fixed, and it hasn't. It has been 8 weeks since that was called out as an issue. Still is. So that is not good enough for the Steelers. I didn't think Arthur Smith called a particularly good game today. Lots of runs on 2nd and 10, odd plays with the time running down, like the draw on 2nd and 1. Just did not think he called up a particularly good game that worked to the Steelers' strengths. I still don't think they're doing a great job of tailoring their rushing offense to what Najee Harris does well. I think Cordero Patterson fits it very well. And I think that is a big part of why he was able to rip off runs. Now, Najee definitely has to be better in some respects, but Arthur Smith has not given him the gap runs that Cordero saw, for example. He is running a lot of zone stuff. I just don't see Najee Harris as an inside zone duo maximizing runner. He's a guy who gets downhill, gets in space, and in space is deadly, as you saw on the big time screen play. So I just didn't think Arthur Smith put his guys in a very good spot. I think the offensive line, listen, a lot of injuries. James Daniels injured, Siamalo out, Fautanu. Man, they're just a really banged up group right now. And there was a lot of miscommunications, a lot of misassignments, as we had talked about throughout the week. But it's hard for me to get on them. I understand they weren't great today, but that's a unit with a lot of young guys coming together. There are going to be growing pains. So reasonably, you will expect that. But they were not good, and not having that dominant O-line that maybe you were thinking does hurt the Steelers' prospects, even long term. Then you talk about the wide receivers. I mean, listen, some really nice plays from George Pickens, but the fumble. We just saw missed opportunities on offense today. The fumble from Justin Fields that knocked him out of field goal range and gave the ball to the Colts. The personal foul from Spencer Anderson that knocked them out of field goal range. Pickens' fumble with the 2-yard line. I mean, these are examples. And then the snap, of course. But these are examples of where you could have won this game and you wouldn't have even been in that spot. So just so many missed opportunities. For Justin Fields, a tale of two halves for me. I thought the first half, he took some bad sacks. He missed some open guys. And obviously the fumble, you can't run backwards 20 yards. If you look back at the play, Najee Harris was at least there for the dump off. He would have been absolutely crushed, and it was a really bad protection call. 2 blitzers on either side of him, just really hard to get out of. But you don't want to make a bad play already worse. So just eat it and take the field, right? Sometimes that's what you got to do. And then I thought after that, he was just awesome. I mean, at some points, I thought he overcame his surroundings. You want to talk about him getting out of pressure, turning his hips, and firing an absolute missile to George Pickens. That was impressive to me for an explosive play. He made numerous plays out of structure. He used his legs methodically. I thought he was really good after that. And so the positive signs are there for Justin Fields. But, dude, you need a full game of Justin Fields, too. So positive and negative there. The defense just kind of, fell apart today. It's not a particularly good matchup for this defense. I know, we talked about how erratic Anthony Richardson was, but also he was cooking early. They ran down their throat because the explosive passing game was working. Flacco came in, they couldn't really get pressure. The Colts are like one of those teams that has such a good offensive line that they can neutralize the Steelers' defensive line to a degree, especially without Highsmith. I thought Herbig got better as the game went on, but they tested him early, got him on some misdirection, and that was definitely an issue for Herbig. The linebackers got targeted, Queen, Roberts, and Wilson. They went at him. They went at Beanie Bishop, and they exploited some of that. Shane Steichen's RPO system and the way he spreads it out is able to uniquely attack the Steelers' defense in ways that a lot of other teams won't be able to, because either they can't protect their quarterback that well enough or they don't have the personnel to do it. Indy has all of it. And so the matchup kind of was a mirror of last year. Now the Steelers eventually started to settle down a little bit, but we saw them just bust coverages early, bust run fits. So there's a lot to go back to the drawing board with from today. Listen, some guys like Porter, Minka, Queen, all these guys that are like super talented players are not going to play this poorly throughout the rest of the season, but we'll see what ends up happening from there. All right, folks, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bell for more